Let's just say this is the, well, 20 jaw-dropping moments for this year in comics. Yeah, I came up with 20. Some of them are just same type of thing but combined into one. Okay? Alright. The first one is, and this one's a bit obvious, the deaths in Civil War II. And I'm not just talking about the deaths in the main series, but also deaths that happened. There's one death that happened, 2 deaths before the actual Civil War thing started, and of course there's one death that happened in Titans. And these deaths are deaths of War Machine, Bruce Banner, War Machine, Bruce Banner, the Jester, and the Red Ghost. And this happens in the Steve Rogers Captain America tie-in for Civil War II. Yeah. How these people die is all completely different. One happens off panel, that's Jester. I was a bit surprised to hear about this one. And yet, nobody talks about this death at all. And yet, when people talk about deaths of Civil War, all they can talk about is the death of War Machine and the death of Bruce Banner. What about the other 2 deaths that happened during Civil War II? Yeah, there have been 2 others. And those are the Jester and the Red Ghost. 2 characters who are Stan Lee creations. One of whom Jack Kirby himself actually created. The other one I think was created by Wally Wood. Yeah. Wally Wood co-created the Jester, who was an old Daredevil villain. Yeah. But I had to throw this on there, okay? Alright? So, next up is, and this is something a lot of people like, really? This made your list? Yes. The Return of the Orb from Original Sin. First time in 2 years. I have seen this character, and I was shocked to see him. I mean, where the heck has he been for the past couple years? Yeah, I mean, it's quite surprising the fact that this guy, after the end of Civil War II, he basically is just breaking into someone's house just so he can witness a guy beat up his wife. Yeah, despite the fact how kind of bad that is. But the character is cool. He's a cool villain. But it's just like, where the heck has he been for the past 2 years? But it is a surprising thing to see him. So I had to throw that one on there. Next, number 3. The Return of the Dead Spider-Man villains. And I'm talking about pretty much just about every single Spider-Man villain who has died over the years. Except for Mindwarden for some reason. Yeah, he gets completely left out. He actually fought Spider-Man. He was actually briefly a villain of his. And the Jackal did not consider bringing him back, but yet they brought back, it seems like they brought back everybody, including Vanessa Fisk, who Wilson Fisk later immediately killed because he was appalled the fact that he would desecrate his late wife's grave. But he not only brought him back, but a bunch of other villains who have died over the years. But yeah, seeing all those villains come back, that is a shocker. Right there. Alright. Number 4, and this is not a surprise to anybody. The return of the pre-Flashpoint Wally West. Yes, this guy. Now, when I had started reading DC Comics, he was not the Flash at that point. No, when I started reading DC Comics 6 years ago, Barry Allen was the Flash. I didn't start reading the Flash comic until like a year after the New 52 started. But I enjoy reading. I've read every single issue of the Flash, so I didn't have much emotional attachment to him as Tivia did. But I was surprised to see him, and the fact that he was wearing his Kid Flash costume, and of course when he shows up in the pages of Titans, he's wearing an alternate version of his Kid Flash costume, though he's called himself the Flash, except it's a dark red costume. But yeah, this one's not a surprise to anybody that this is my list. That was number 4. Number 5, the big moments in IDW's Revolution. I'm talking, yeah, there's a lot of big moments. I decided to squeeze them all into this one particular part. And that is Rom killing the original Joe, and I think it was like one other Joe, of course they later will be Die Wraiths. Snake Eyes meeting the Micronauts, that was something. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, Action Man rescuing Cup from Mask, from the captivity of Mask. That was interesting. Mask is the Mask cars taken from basically based on Cybertron technology. That's a bit of a surprise, and it's completely different from what I've heard from the previous incarnations of Mask. Let's see what else. Any other big moments? Oh yes, the Joes actually firing their guns at the Transformer, even though the bullets are bouncing off them. That was actually kind of a surprise. But, yeah. Also, another really big one. Optimus Prime has a conversation with Rom. First time these two have ever seen each other, ever in a comic book. And he calls him out on the deaths. He says, I didn't kill anybody. I basically destroyed Die Wraiths. I didn't kill anybody else. Yeah, that was kind of a surprise. But there's a lot of really big moments. In case you guys listen to any more big moments I may have missed that happened during Revolution, which was an awesome crossover. I highly recommend you check it out. I mean, it's only a 5-issue limited series plus one-shots for Rom, G.I. Joe, Mask, and there's 3 one-shots for Transformers. Yeah, it's basically there's a bunch of one-shots right now. Some of the stuff we're going on the other books are just dealing with the aftermaths of Revolution, but it was an awesome crossover. I had to put the big moments on that. I had to talk about that. All right, that was number 6, and this one will probably be like, yeah, this would definitely make my list. Steve Rogers saying "Hail Hydra." Though I'm not going to talk about basically about the death threats that Spencer got for this. That will be saved for the top 15 worst things that happened this year. But Steve Rogers saying "Hail Hydra," that was a jaw dropper right there. Though it was going to be brainwashing, but yes, it was definitely a surprise to see that. So yes, I had to throw it on there. Some people may not be all that surprised to see that's on there, but it's on there. Alright, that was number 6. Number 7, Doomsday attacks pre-Flashpoint Superman and Super Lex. Now, him attacking pre-Flashpoint Superman, that's not surprising, but him attacking Super Lex, that was a surprise. But yeah, this was of course from the opening arc of the current run of Action Comics from Dan Jurgens. Yeah, it was shocking to see Doomsday back, and him looking exactly the way he did at the start of Death of Superman crossover. That was a surprise to see. For a lot of people I've talked to at Tampa Comic Con, basically Dan Jurgens is the reason why that they got into comic books. And I think he was smiling at that. I just had to mention that. But yeah, this is a jaw-dropping moment right here. Okay. Alright. That was number, let's see, 3. That's 7. Number 8 is Steve Rogers Goes Young. Yep, this happened during the events of Standoff. Yeah, the sentient Cosmic Cube character did this to him, which also kind of indirectly led into Hail Hydra. But yeah, this was a shocking sight to see, despite the fact that the artwork was, well, he was smiling during it. I'm happy to see him go young again. They'll see people tend to ask, why couldn't she do the same thing with Sharon Carter, like make her young again? Who knows? It's just how it depends what Nick Spencer wants to do and what Marvel wants to do with the character. Okay, that was number 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was number 8. Number 9, and this is not exactly in comics per se, but I had to bring this up. Someone mentioned this, a comic ornament mentioned this to me at Tampa Comic Con. I had to bring this Extras MegaCon. Doctor Strange, best-selling comic book. This is a surprise to see, Now, I expect it to be a good selling comic book, but best selling one. Now, he didn't say bestseller, but it's selling really well. I bet a lot of people were surprised Doctor Strange is selling really well, especially since the movie came out last month. Though some people are saying the Doctor Strange hype is going downhill, is dying down. But I think the Doctor Strange comic is still selling really well. I'm sure it is. Yep. All right, that was number 9. If I can get this working properly. Number 10. This, for a lot of people, was very much a surprise. It was actually an announcement that was made. It hasn't. The imprint starting next year. The return of the Wildstorm universe. Yeah, for a lot of people who are fans of the Wildstorm universe, they were happy this announcement was made. And here's the thing: Jim Lee is not in charge of it. It's being run by Warren Ellis. Yes, Warren Ellis. Some people want him to write the Authority series again because he did fantastic job. I've read his Authority series; it's actually really damn good. But he's writing one of the other titles. But hearing the return of Wildstorm universe, that is something a lot of people were very happy with that. Yep. Alright, that was number, let's see, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 7, the death of the post-Flashpoint Lois Lane. This was actually kind of a surprise. I mean, people, it was promoted that Lois Lane would be the post-Flashpoint version, was going to be Superwoman, and then she dies in the first issue. Yep. But that was definitely a jaw dropper right there. Seeing her die, for some people, that was making people kind of happy because of how bad she'd been treated over the past 5 years, of how writers write her to be, well, where she outed Superman's identity, where she outed Clark Kent as Superman. Some say she had this coming, but yeah, that is a jaw dropper right there. Okay, next, which is, let's see. I know I'm counting the list here. Number 12 is the Guardians of the Galaxy ship blowing up. Yeah, this actually happened. This actually happened. I believe it was issue 5. Yeah, the issue that was delayed because of Dave Marquez becoming a father. Yeah, seeing this ship blow up. Now, Bendis has had it written that this was the base operation. This was the home for the Guardians for the past 3 years. And to see it blown up in the book, that was something completely unexpected. I know I'm spoiling some stuff from some books that happened recently this year, but I had to bring this up. Yeah. You gonna finish the lights? Soon, okay? I'm busy. Okay. Next, of course, is 3. I think that was number 12. Let's see. 3. Number 13, the death of the post-Flashpoint Superman. Yeah. For a lot of people, this made a lot of people very happy who were not happy with this version of Superman. But it was sad to see him go and how the way he was written by Piero J. Tomasi, who did a fantastic job writing the story. But it was a jaw drop moment to see how he died. I won't spoil exactly how he died, but he died. Alright, 14. And this one people already knew about, but yeah, but to make my jaw-dropping list, yeah, this is a surprise. John Kent meets Damian Wayne. The son of Superman meets the son of Batman. Yeah. This actually happened. Very recently, mind you. I think it happened just last month. But I had to throw this on there. It's just something to see this. This was something. For a lot of people, this was like something a lot of people were expecting, especially since it was promoted very early on, that this might happen. Yep. Number 14. And this is from Darkseid War, the death of Owlman. This one was a bit of a kind of a gross moment to see, but it was surprising to see him die, especially since he was a well-written character during the events of Forever Evil. I think he was like the best character. He was the best of the crime syndicate. He was well written. He wasn't like, oh, I'm snorting kryptonite like it's freaking cocaine. He was more. He was basically written to be an evil Batman, and it was shocking to see Geoff Johns kill him off at the end of Darkseid War. Yep, that was number 14. 15, and then this just happened just recently. Nightwing returns to Bloodhaven. This was announced about a few months ago, and I was so happy to hear this. As somebody who has read the Nightwing comic recently, and I had recently, I think it was I think it was just early this year, I finished up reading Nightwing Volume 2. And I spoke to Chuck Dixon about this, and I think he's happy this is happening for Dick Grayson, for the Nightwing character, because he used to write the character, and to see him return to Bloodhaven after it was blown up in Infinite Crisis. Yeah. And of course, Superman mentioning in the previous issue, this will happen in issue 9, I believe this was, of the book, where he brings up the fact that his Nightwing was based out of Bloodhaven, and he just brought into Bloodhaven. And go back to Bloodhaven is something that's a bit. It's also jaw-dropping, but also very happy for someone like me who was a Nightwing fan. All right, that was number 15. Number 16 is Return of the JSA. Oh, this hasn't fully happened yet, but it has been sort of hinted, especially with Return of like Johnny Thunder, the return of the original Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson. So, and of course, it's hinting that you could see the pre-Flashpoint Jay Garrick back, which I'm hoping that will happen because we saw his helmet. So, yeah. And that happened. This happened from, of course, some of the stuff happened during happened during DC Rebirth, so I had to bring that up on there. Next, Dr. Manhattan being responsible for New 52 in story. Not Barry Allen, definitely not Pandora. It's Dr. Manhattan. Yep, Dr. Manhattan. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of something. This is also something from a. Almost done with this. Okay, yeah. This is kind of a surprise to see, and a lot of people were not expecting this, but yeah, I had it on there. Next, of course, is Batman saving a plane from crashing with the help of 2 new characters. This is like Gotham and Gotham Girl. This happened in Batman #1. Yeah, this was something, especially with a plane crashing down. Of course, I'm still questioning. Now, I don't know if Batman's found out exactly why the plane was crashing, but yeah, this is a shocking moment to see. He's not Superman, but it's nice to see him do it. And last but not least, Richard Rider returns from the dead. Yep, Richard Rider returns from the dead. Yeah, this is something that a lot of people were very happy with this, and I was happy this happened just recently. And to see him back, after somebody who has started reading comics when he was Nova, and to see him back now, it actually does make me happy. A character who's been there for 6 years, not 2, 6. Because Bendis just he only confirmed his death during Original Sin. He didn't kill him off during Original Sin, he actually just confirmed it. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. If you have other opinions about it, whatever, it's your opinion, you can stick to it, but I'm sticking to my own opinion when it comes to Death of Richard Rider. But since he's back now, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Okay? So, that's it for this 20 jaw-dropping moments in comics that happened this year. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and I will see you there.